that. All right, can you hear me now? I'm guessing the quality is not as good if you can, but I'm using my laptop mic now instead of my Blue Yeti. Um, that's good? Okay, okay. All right, well, something's wrong with my mic. Don't know what it is, but I guess we'll just go with the lower quality laptop mic and hopefully it's not too annoying. That's a good suggestion, tweeps. Okay, now the problem is it doesn't seem to be working on Patreon, which is frustrating. I'm gonna have to make a post, I guess, for patrons and say, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's not working. It was working great last month. And I'm just gonna have to try figuring it out, I guess. So we're going to I'm gonna try it one more time. I'm gonna go to Patreon, OBS. I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna start, and yeah, it's just not working. Okay, you know what? Sorry, I'm gonna try one more thing. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay, let's stop, let's modify. Let's see if the stream key is different. It must be a different stream key. So let's try that. I don't know. Reuse the streaming encoder as OBS, blah, 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 video settings, audio settings. Share from Patreon, YouTube. Share from Patreon, YouTube. All right, we're gonna try this one more time for OBS. See if it works. Start. Doesn't look like it's working on Patreon still. All right, dang it. Okay, let me just make a quick note in Discord, and then we'll just get started. I seem to be unable to get it working on Patreon this time. Not sure what the issue is, so I'll figure it out. Apologies to patrons. I'll make sure the vid is available as soon as we're done streaming and post it here. Thanks for your understanding and patience. Okay. Stupid. It worked so smoothly last time. It was too good to be true. Okay. How's it going, everybody? Happy December on January 9th. Sorry about the late start to getting this going for the month. I think the holidays just kind of came and everything was crazy busy. I had family in town, my wife's family in town, and you know how it is. So anyways, next year I might just say, let's take December off. Just realizing how challenging it was to make the time this last week and a half ago. And I have a feeling that most of you are probably really busy around the end of December too. Busy whether, just resting and relaxing or, doing things with family, etc. So let's just kind of jump in and start answering some questions. Stephen, thank you. I appreciate that. I did have a great time for the holidays. I have not played Dispatch. What's Dispatch? Is that a video game? If it's a TTRPG, then I'm going to feel really stupid. No, the only games that I have been playing lately, video games. I played, I think I might have talked about this last month. I played Expedition 33, Clair Obscur, like a fiend. for like every day for hours, like for, I don't even know, 2 months, which I have not done for a long time. I don't have the time to do that. It meant sacrificing sleep generally. I love that game with all of my heart. It was a real slow burn for me until I got to Act 3. And then as soon as Act 3 hit, I was playing 2 or 3 hours a day, pretty much every day. And then as soon as I finished it, I immediately like started a new playthrough and played all the way through it again. So I finished that and I felt like, okay, I think I've maybe milked this as much as I want to milk it. After watching lots of like video essays on the game and the meaning and helping me deal with all of my trauma as a result of playing it. And then I got into Hades 2 just like a few days ago. And that's fun and difficult. And I'm not, my twitchy gamer skills are not what they used to be. And so I've found it to be a bit of a struggle. I mean, it's a roguelite, so I know you're supposed to die, but it's fun and very challenging. But I did manage to get to Kronos last night and promptly died. Um, okay, so anyways, now there's some, okay, Critical Role invested in it. Dispatch. Oh, Dispatch. Is that the one that looks like it looks like an anime, right? It's like a kind of a superhero comic booky thing. Um, I was very tempted, but I have not yet taken the plunge. It looks really interesting, and I was this close to buying it. In fact, I was trying to decide between that and Hades 2. And Hades 2 just felt like it was going to scratch an itch that I was feeling at the time for whatever reason. But I plan on getting into Dispatch. Yeah, okay. I'm seeing that that's it. Yeah, it looks awesome. I mean, from what I've read and what I've seen, it looks a lot more like a visual novel than a video game per se, right? Like I know that there's like some choices that you make, more like maybe like a choose your own adventure book, right, rather than a gamey game. Um, but yeah, it looks really great. I do think that I'm gonna plan on checking it out sooner or later. Maybe after I'm done with Hades too. And yeah, Traveler's Tale. Yeah, 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 yeah. I have heard good things, and I know it won some awards. And I don't know, would I live stream it while I played it? I've never done that before. I don't even have a Twitch account. I know you can do streaming on more than just Twitch, but I guess I'd think about it. I don't know. Would there be more than two people that tuned in to watch? Maybe three. So yeah, we'll think about it. But anyways, let me get to the question that we left off that we didn't get to last time. Um, let's see. We ended with before getting to precipice, rapid fire, yes or no. Which characters are artificers? Anakin Skywalker, Spider-Man, Batman, Fi, Gustav from Expedition 33. Timely. All right, rapid fire. Anakin Skywalker. I think these are all multi-class dips into Artificer. Anakin like might have a couple levels, but not much beyond that, I don't think. He's good at tinkering, but yeah, beyond that. Spider-Man, same thing. Like maybe he got to Alchemist, right? Just like level 3, and then he went back into whatever class Spider-Man would be. Batman, same thing. He's got more know-how than just alchemy for sure, but like he's mostly like a monk, I think. Vi. Vi is a guardian armorer, no question in my mind about it. But I think she's mostly artificer. I know she probably needs some monk levels too or something. Well, but see, she's making punches with those thunder gauntlets, not unarmed strikes. Anyways, and Gustav from Expedition 33, he might be the only full artificer. He's like a battlesmith for sure, right? Without the pet. I think that's Gustav. Okay. Anyways, that was my quick fire. Let's see what else. Some of these are just comments. Oh, Jars says the new potent Dragon Mark feat gives a full scaled spell slot up to 5 of any class with CME and Armor of Agathis. Is this not the best feat in the game? It's really powerful. Comes back on a short rest. Yeah, it's super good. And I've kind of talked about why I'm not planning on using Dragon Mark feats in my builds. Just because it seems like, at least half and probably less are actually able to use Dragon Mark feats when they're not playing in an Eberron campaign, and that to me just feels like not a big enough like I want my builds to be sort of applicable to almost everybody, right? At most tables, and I just don't think Dragon Mark feats are. But yeah, I keep the option open of maybe doing like a best Aberon campaign character build one day in the future, maybe especially if demand gets high enough, right? I could try one, see how it does. So yeah, that's kind of a back burner thing, but it is really really good. To be fair, also, I I haven't spent a lot of time looking at those feats because I read them, I gave them a once over and was like, I don't think I'm going to use these in my builds, and so I kind of stopped thinking about them. So yeah. Okay, let's check over in the chat here. Yes, the voice acting and animation. Okay, we're still talking about. I'd tune in. Can't speak for others. Thanks, Jim Quilly. And man, you guys with the names Ekulfasa. I know you don't do magic item builds, but I feel like it would be pretty cool. Like a Flame Tongue Eldritch Knight or character with Staff of Power. Yeah, that's another one of those. And people talk a lot, right, about, hey, what magic items would you use? What would you recommend? Could you recommend some? Would you start recommending some magic items? And, I feel like, if I did, it would take up a fair bit of time, and the videos already go long, and I know that most of you are okay with that, but for analytics purposes and channel health purposes, I feel like if I can keep it under an hour, they tend to do better anyways. But also, I feel like it would start to get super samey, right? Like, yeah, flame tongue weapon if you can get one. And same with the epic boons. People ask about those, and it's like, I mean, if you're making attacks, it's fairly clear. Like, there's a couple of options, right? And I'm just gonna say the same thing every time, so why bother, kind of. Yeah, and then also there's the fact that while we have crafting rules that are a lot more codified, right, in the 5.5 stuff, I still don't know that like every table is just gonna say, yeah, like you can have whatever magic item you want, or I'm gonna give you a month of downtime now to craft whatever magic item you want. Like, I just think that might be more common than not, but it still doesn't feel like, I don't know, like everybody's going to be able to just have whatever magic item they want whenever they want. You know what I mean? So those are the reasons why I've kind of stayed away. But yeah, I could see, you know, outside of artificers, of course, doing, something like that one day, being like, okay, let's just build like the most powerful character we can, including like every magic item that's official, right? I'm not going into like third party content here, but maybe I could see that happening one day. Let's see. Do Eldritch Knight for Gustav. Yeah, I could see that. Rogue King, thank you. If you were forced to cut out a class from 5.5, what's getting dropped from the lineup? Oh, I don't want to drop any of them. But if I had to, I might go wizard or sorcerer. I feel like of all the classes, okay, it's either wizard or sorcerer or fighter or barbarian, right? Like of all the classes, those are the most similar. Sorcerer Wizard spell list is very similar. Obviously, Wizard's better, I know, but like Sorcerer is close, right? Especially depending on the subclass. And I know that one's like this Charisma caster, and it's like from the power of my blood, and the other's like intelligence, but like they're very similar, right? Um, and then the fighter and barbarian are similar too. Like they fill a similar niche, right? They kind of do the same thing. Like I almost feel like a barbarian could just be a fighter subclass, right? And I'm not saying I want to get rid of them, but if I had to, at gunpoint to pick one to get rid of, yeah, I might say let's make the barbarian a fighter subclass. Give him rage, give him damage resistance, and I don't know, make him a berserker or something like that, right? Just kind of pick the most generic one. And I think it could work fairly well. In fact, it might make a better barbarian, at least at level 11, when you get that third attack, right? You'd be like, sweet, I get the best of both worlds here, and I didn't have to multi-class. So, okay, let me get back to the Discord questions. Rogue, is that the same? Rogue King? Rogue? I don't know. Anyways, do you believe that Artificers will see any more love across 5.5 now that we've gotten the Eberron book? I feel like there's so much that can be done with the class and enough meat still on the bone for further expansion of what it means to be an Artificer. I'm not sure what you mean by do you believe that Artificers will see any more love? If you mean from Wizards of the Coast, I think they're probably done for a while. We might see a new subclass drop, in the distant future. But if you mean like from the D&D community at large, sure, right? I mean, it's the newest content. Everybody's excited about it. Well, all the non-Artificer haters and steampunk haters are excited about. I know I used to be in the ranks of those people, but I have converted. That said, and I say this in the video that I just recorded yesterday about the artillerist, that it'll be out in like a week and a half. And I'm not the first one to say this, right? Like, I wish that Wizards of the Coast would have done a little more to update them from what we saw with Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Like, there's some good stuff, but it's mostly tweaks, right? Outside of like the dreadnought that the Guardian or that the Armorer got, I just called the Armorer the Guardian. And the new subclass, obviously the cartographer. There were some significant changes, but most of them were tweaky, just kind of little adjustments here and there, and that frustrated me a little bit. I would have liked to see more change, but yeah, I think I love the subclass and they're fun to play with for sure. And now the big problem with artificers, I don't know if it's a problem, but like, I multi-classed with this artillerist, and it's like, how do you multi-class before level 11 now? Like, that's so clearly their best feature, that spell storing item, that it's almost like you have to stay here till level 11 or else you're just killing yourself. I did not, not surprisingly, but it's almost like I can just feel the comments already that are going to be coming, like, oh, you're crazy, you're giving up so much of your power by delaying this, blah blah blah, and the better magic items, etc. But anyways, artificers are awesome, and there's more. Firnen, with the artificer getting another reprint and the scion in Unearthed Arcana, do you think we'll get more classes in 5.5, or is this it? If we get another class, what would you want it to be? I would be surprised if they did more than just give us the scion, frankly. Introducing a new class is a lot. I feel like it's a lot of work, a lot of balance that, to be fair, WotC isn't necessarily great at all of the time. They don't have a great track record with anyways. So yeah, if I had to pick another class, what would it be? At risk of being a broken record, like I think I would want like a dedicated spell sword. And some people are probably thinking that's the Paladin, or that's the Eldritch Knight, or the Arcane Trickster, or the Ranger to some extent, right? or obviously the Blade Singer or the Valor Bard. Like we've got Gish options, no question. But I do really like what Pathfinder 2E did with the Magus and just said, okay, this is like the spell sword. Um, I think if you were to do that though, you might have to just like get rid of the Blade Singer and the Valor Bard completely because it would be hard for like a dedicated spell sword class to compete. I think power wise, because they should probably be a half caster, right? Like I hate to even just say that out loud because it makes my soul hurt a little bit. Um, but like in the name of healthy gameplay and balance, right? Make an arcane spell sword, so not a paladin, not a ranger. Give me, you've got like the druid fighter and you've got the cleric fighter. Now give me the wizard fighter, and make it its own class, I think, and make it a half caster. I think that would be cool and fun and interesting, potentially. But I worry that they wouldn't do a great job with it, so careful what you wish for. Pleishner, once you promised Thief Rogue build with magic item usage. Oh, you're gonna like Tuesday's video. Now, when Artificer is updated and having magical items is such a big part of class identity, would we see magic items included into more builds? Maybe separate series. Okay, so this is kind of a similar question that we already got. Um, and yeah, I guess, well, maybe I'll just add, speaking of Artificer, yes, there's definitely, like, I feel a lot more comfortable doing that if I have Artificer levels 2 and Rogue. Like Thief Rogue plus Artificer is high on my to-do list right now. I just did a Thief Rogue for the like single class build series, and then followed that with an Artificer that'll come out the following week, right? So it'll probably be a minute before I actually like put that build out. But yeah, like that's where I feel comfortable. And I think it's almost definitely, right? Like 3 levels of Rogue and then Artificer so that you can sort of guarantee those really great magic items, the wands, all that kind of stuff. The one that I do for coming out Tuesday is just spell scrolls because that to me feels like it's maybe the easiest to assume that we can do, right? True Strike spell scrolls are not super expensive or super time consuming. So it's like, okay, this I feel like I can sort of, with some reliability, say, okay, most of us can probably have access to, spell scrolls fairly regularly if we really want to. It's not super expensive. It doesn't take forever to craft them, etc. So yeah. Anyways. Back to the chat. I'm still hoping one day for an all third-party allowed group of builds. Oof. Yeah, that's a lot. And it's a lot to sort of learn the third-party stuff and then feel like you know them well enough that you can like optimize a build around them. And then you know, they never perform as well. And so it's bad for the channel. And it's fun to do once in a while, but like it's hard to justify. Do you know what I mean? And so it's just a big time commitment for like a smaller return on my time investment, which kind of sucks that you have to be kind of businessy about it. But um, okay, let's see. What about making shorts for the magic item recommendations? Yeah, I could do that. Um, I don't want to get rid of Blade Singers, but it might be interesting. Um, let's see. Drakenheim Apothecaries. Yeah, Kelly and Monty did a great job with the Apothecary for sure. I thought about doing a build around them, but I don't know. Maybe one day. I mean, the one third party build that I've ever done that actually performed well, like better than average, was the Arcane Hand Monk, right, from Drakenheim. Um, I'm pretty sure that the main reason for that was that like I went to Toronto and recorded with Kelly and Monty in their studio and put them on the thumbnail, right? And so I probably got an influx of Dungeon Dudes fans that don't normally watch my channel. Would that happen again if I did an apothecary build? Maybe, maybe. I should probably seriously consider that. But I don't know if have they updated that for 5.5. I'm sure that they have internally. I don't think that they've put that in a book anywhere though, right? Maybe if and when that happens. Um, all right, let's see. I love the 2024 version of Coldcaster. Would you like to see more feats that add rider effects? Absolutely. Coldcaster might be my favorite spell, or sorry, feat in the new book. Um, Maybe there's some good ones, right? The Spellfire Adept is cool. Fairy Trickster, Fairy, what's it called? That gives disadvantage on saving throws. Really powerful. Um, but yeah, it would be fun to see more and more interesting feats that do stuff like that. And I like ones that are focused on like damage types too. Like, yeah, give me a good reason to build a pyromancer, right? Or acid type character or poison. Give me a freaking poison feat that lets me ignore immunity to poison. Or maybe if they have immunity to poison, I don't know, like it becomes acid or something. Something like that, so that we could actually make a little more use out of, some cool poison things that we have. Um, let's see. Okay, back to the Dungeon Crawl David McCullough. Wait, the author David McCullough? No, you spell your name differently, don't you? The apothecary is only in Sebastian Crow's guide. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think they have plans to update it for 5.5. Kustos, thank you. Have you or would you like to provide consultation on TTRPGs that are in development? You know what? Um, Potentially. Uh, that's something that I would be, I think, more open to than like creating my own third party content like subclasses and classes. I don't, for whatever reason, and I think this might be a question later in Discord, for whatever reason, I don't feel super drawn to like create my own content for D&D. I think I'm weird amongst like D&D tube people in that like I don't, right? Almost everybody else does, it seems like, from Taryn to Dungeon Dudes, Ginny, Bob, Will, like Chris. Well, Chris is kind of consulted. I don't know. I feel like that's maybe where my strength lies, is in analysis. Not that I don't have creativity in me too, um, but maybe what it is a fear of like of not putting out something good that like isn't interesting or that people don't like. There might be something there. Now you guys get to be my therapist. Fear of like failure or rejection or something. And so it's easier to like analyze somebody else's creation rather than make your own, right? Yeah, there's something for me to do some work around. but but yeah, like I love playing in other people's worlds more than I do making my own. And I think the same is true of like, you know, classes and subclasses. I think the same kind of applies there. Okay, let me get back to Discord questions. Do you generally prefer playing in established settings, such as the Forgotten Realms, or homebrew worlds? Always curious where players fall on that spectrum. That's a great question, Gem Jar. Um, I don't know if I have a preference. I love both, though. I think I love established settings more than most D&D players, or maybe more than most DMs at least, or maybe more than most people who watch YouTube videos about D&D. Like some of my favorite memories of playing are from like, you know, even the sometimes maligned like what is it, Rise of Tiamat, right? Uh, and like Drakenheim was great. The Storm King's Thunder was really fun. Like I really like for the most part, existing modules. I still call them modules because I'm an AD&D guy. The Temple of Elemental Evil was my very first D&D experience, really, and it was awesome. And there's something, I guess, there's something about like um, that I appreciate about like professional writers creating a thing and I like that structure, and I like sort of knowing that there's a plan and an end game in mind. That said, I've also had some fantastic experiences in, my DM's homebrew worlds. Um, I guess I'll say that I have experienced like a potential pitfall, I think, with homebrew is that sometimes a DM can become overly enamored with the world that they've created, and that can sometimes almost take the spotlight. Like the world or the place or the faction or the character or whatever can almost, for some DMs, I think, can become like, this is what I want to showcase. Oh, I've got this great, cool thing that like I'm gonna railroad my characters into because like I've created all this stuff that's cool that I love and that I want to show you guys, and I put all this work into it, and it almost feels like more restrictive as a result. Even though I know that those pre-written, pre-existing worlds kind of, they can have their parameters and their walls and a little bit of railroading too. But I would say my favorite experiences as a player have been when a DM can take an existing adventure and like sort of incorporate some of their own homebrew into it. So like, I've played existing adventures where we might have a little like side quest and get off into something that like isn't in the books, right? But they kind of take something and make their own. We have this adventure, and now maybe they incorporate an NPC that we met, or whatever, into sort of the main story, where there's sort of a melding of the two. Those have been my favorite campaigns. So yeah, I don't know. Back to the chat. Let's see. What subclass would you assign yourself? Would you assign your in real life self? Um, okay, so do you mean what subclass do I think I am if I like took a quiz and like I had to answer the questions and then it would say you are a ranger? Or like if I could choose, what subclass would I pick? I'll wait for a response there. Um, because I think if I took a quiz and it just was like this is what you are, yeah, I'd probably be some strange like multi-class of bard and ranger. That is a super mad setup. But just based on kind of what I think I'm good at and what my passions are, um, if I could just pick, uh, you know, what class I wanted to be, and just could like magically be it, all of them. Probably a monk though, because I really like the idea of just being at peace and being super agile and being able to run up walls and across bodies of water without falling, and just all of that. That is like, for me, the monk encapsulates like the ultimate kind of I wish I could do this fantasy. So there you go. Okay, back to Discord. Would you ever consider Jor 80 says, would you ever consider doing a series of best duo damage builds, building two classes at a time to get the most damage? Jor, you must be new here, or relatively new. I've done a bunch of dual builds, dual build videos, but it's probably been, has it been 3 years? It might have been 3 years or more. Um, for the reason that they take longer and are less well received, so they don't perform as well, which surprises me because D&D is a game that you play with friends, and I always thought when I did my very first dual build video, right, the Brainy and the Beast, the Wizard and the Druid, I thought like this is gonna be my best performing video yet. I think it was like video number 10 or something. It was way early, right? And then it didn't perform well. But in my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, like, you watch my videos and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this and this. Like, I'm gonna get my friend and we're gonna watch this and I'm gonna play the wizard and he's gonna play the druid and this is gonna be amazing. And it, for whatever reason, doesn't work that way. I guess people, I think, maybe just go, well, like, maybe it's hard to convince your friend to play something that they don't necessarily want to play, right? And yeah, for whatever reason, they didn't perform as well, but they were longer and they took a lot more work, and so I kind of just stopped doing them. I'm not ruling out getting back to them ever, but yeah, they're fun to do once in a while, or they were fun, even though they were also more work. Um, let's see. Okay, there's just some commentary here. Colby Awards, Lord Broseiden says, yeah, I thought it was going to be an annual thing when I did the first Colby Awards a year and a half ago. But that was at the end of like 5E, right? As 5.5 was about to come out, right? And I think I was looking for filler because the 5E builds were like doing worse and worse. It's almost like everyone's like, I'm not going to watch that because we're getting the new books. I thought about doing it this summer, but then it kind of felt like I don't have enough like 5.5 builds yet to be able to go, okay, here's like a whole, like which ones are going to win. I had 50 builds, which is not, I guess, nothing. But it felt like I wanted a bigger sample size to be able to pick like nominees and winners. So I might try and get to it this summer, and maybe it'll be a biannual thing. Um, but yeah, we'll see. That was fun to do, and I'd have to get some special guests to read the winners, like I did before. Maybe I'll see if I can find somebody new, some new people, or create some new categories, right? Time Knight 113 says, Colby, have you ever thought of an Eldritch Knight Blade Singer build? Debating if it would be good. Time Knight 113, you must be new here. That's funny. One of the, I guess, most common questions, I don't know if this is necessarily true, but a question that I get a lot is, have you ever done X, right? And I wish there's got to be a better way for me to get the word out that I have a table of contents and I update it weekly. And in that table of contents, I have a link to the build, a description of what the build is. I say what the purpose of the build is, what the race or species was, and then like a breakdown of class and subclass. And it's all searchable and it's online, right? And I link to it in all my video descriptions. And I wish that I could sort of make people more aware of that, because it's a very common question, and I'm always saying, I think I have, or yes, I have. Check the video description. You'll see the table of contents. Yeah. Anyways, I did a Blade Singer Eldritch Knight years ago. It was a long time ago, and so not for 2024. I think it can be really good, but it especially shines once you hit, what is it, level 13, when you can basically make multiple cantrip attacks on your turn. But I don't know at the end of the day that it's worth sacrificing like the benefits of Blade Singer to get, because you're going to get more spell attacks, or sorry, more and better spells, or like more levels in fighter to get that third attack, right? I think both of them are probably better primarily single classed. It's fun to mix them up, and I had fun with the build, and it's one of my best performing videos ever still to this date the Eldritch. What did I call it? I don't even remember what it was called. But yeah, it's got like over 100,000 views, which is, pretty good for my videos. 150,000, something like that. So yeah. Let's see. How did you settle on the levels you use for your damage report? Rimble asks. They seem a bit arbitrary and don't align to tiers of play. Okay, so yeah, here's some lore. So when I first started doing builds and thought I wanted to do damage reports, did I do damage reports like in the first few videos? I might not have. I'll have to go back and look. But when I decided to, I was like, okay, let's just, like, I gotta pick. I talk too much. I used to get really annoyed when I would see on like Reddit, like 3D6, right? For example, or whatever, Giant in the Playground forums, where people would be like, here's this build for D&D that I did, and it's amazing. Look at this. At level 20, you do 5 billion damage. And I'd be like, okay, but like, it sucks until you get to level 20. Like most people don't play at level 20. What does it look like at level 5 and 10 and 15? Or, you know what I mean? What does it look like along the way? And so, yeah, I was like, all right, let's kind of pause and report on, what the damage is looking like as we go, and kind of keep an eye as we're building, like, well, what's going to be optimal for like early game and then mid game and then late game. And I just kind of randomly decided, well, why don't we just do like when we get a proficiency bonus increase, right? 5, 9, 13, 17. That kind of is fairly representative of like power spikes. I wasn't thinking about tier 1, tier 2. At level 5, casters are getting 3rd level spells. That's a big deal. And then at 9, 5th level spells, also a big deal, right? And then at 17, 9th level spells. And then you can kind of say the same thing for, non-full casters. They tend to get power spikes around those levels. The exception being Bladesingers, who, while they do get 3rd level spells at level 5, didn't get their extra attack until 6. And knowing that, and having nepotism, and wanting, my darling baby to look as good as possible compared to other builds, I was like, well, instead of level 5, I'm going to do level 6. Because I know that the Bladesinger is going to then look better by comparison if I can wait until they get extra attack. And to be fair, like, I do a lot of multi-classing, right? And there's a lot of like that just allowed me to do like a 1-level dip, like be a paladin with a warlock dip, right? Or whatever. And then still get to 6 and be like, okay, here's like where I just felt like by 6, most of the time I could sort of have the core of a build, even if I was doing some multi-classing. But yeah, let's be honest, it was mostly because I wanted the Bladesinger to look good. So there you go. 6, 9, it should be 5, 9, 13, and 17, but I cheated. And now it's kind of too late to go back and change it. Okay, let's keep going. Actually, let's go over to the chat. Best magic item you've ever seen in game. Gamer new 5XP says. Oh, it would be the what's the sword, the legendary sword that you get for those of you who have played not the Rise of Tiamat, but the first when you kill, oh, this is a spoiler potentially, sorry. When you kill the Black Dragonborn, it's been years since I've played this. Horde of the Dragon Queen, was that it? Hazaron. That was the name of the sword. Hazaron. The legendary magic item. And it has no business being in the game when you can potentially get it. I think our barbarian got that item at like level 6 or 7. And all of a sudden, like, he was doing as much damage as the rest of the party combined. And it was ridiculous. And I think we all whined about it to the DM, like, this is lame. I mean, it's great for Reese, but the rest of us are feeling very underwhelming now. And so I got to experience maybe a little bit of what it feels like to play with me at a table when you're not an optimizer. That sounded cocky. But yeah, most of my friends don't, right? And so they don't seem to care that much, or at least so they say. But yeah, it was just like, oh, okay, so you're just gonna do 5 billion damage and kill everything, and I'm gonna be like, pew pew. Yeah, so it's not so much that that is the best magic item in D&D, but man, at the level that we were at, it was absurd. Um, okay. How do you join the Discord? Kukustos. There is, if you Google, like, connecting Discord to YouTube membership or something like that, you'll find, you know what? I'll copy and paste right now, real quick, the link that will tell you how to do it, and then it should just sync it automatically. Um, okay, hold on. Do 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 do. Here we go. Oh, right here. Boink. Okay. Your video descriptions are very full, to be honest. That is true. Have you considered making them all into a link tree? Um, do you mean like putting all of my tabs, all of my links into a single link tree? Potentially. I worry that that stuff would just get lost in the shuffle. And maybe that's what's happening now, and so it would be better, right? But yeah, like, I don't know. I guess to me that feels like one more stop for someone to go through when really all they're looking for is X, right? Like, if they're like, oh, there's merch available, cool. Go to the video description, scroll down if I have to, like, find the merch at, rather than, oh, click on a link, go somewhere else, now find what I want. I don't know. It doesn't seem all that more efficient to me. Though I do appreciate that it would clean up the video descriptions a little bit. Um, let's see. The Eldritch Blade Master. That's right. Matt Marshall. Uh, let's see. Ba-doo. Someone could send it via Discord. Oh, okay. People are commenting about the Discord thing. Hopefully that link that I sent will help. Misek, would you recommend Genie Paladin in any of your other 2024 builds? Um, Gosh, yeah, like, it's super good. No question. Most of the Paladin builds that I've done so far for 5.5, I feel like had a good reason to take the subclass that they did, right? Usually it was like we're using a big two-hander and we love that +10 to hit. So, or +10, +5, whatever, charisma modifier to hit. And so, so we went with the one that starts with a D. Or we were dual wielding and we wanted automatic advantage, right? So we went vengeance, etc. It's almost like, to me, for Genie Pally, I would almost say, if you don't have a good reason for picking another subclass, like, this is your best choice, right? That said, like, that elemental strike or smite, depending on if you're looking in the book or online, is really powerful. But not everybody's going to be smiting all the time, and divine smiting specifically too, right? So yeah, like, I love it, and there's more to it than just the divine smite, or I mean the elemental smite. But that's like the clear strongest feature, I think. Their level 7 feature is good too, but anyways, so yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and see, like, would this be better off with the Genie Pally? My hunch is not necessarily. But yeah, that would require some thought and kind of reworking some stuff. I don't know. Okay, let's see. What would the real life stats and classes be of the D4 team party, says Polar Bear. I'm not sure what you mean by D4 team. Do you mean like if I were like what would be my ideal if I could make like a whole no, because you said real life. I don't really have a team. My son edits my videos, but otherwise it's just me. Um, so I guess let's do this. Let me say what I think my real life stats. Okay, we talked about my class already. My stats. Okay. I think if I had to guess what my stats would be, it would probably be, let's see, strength. I'm pretty strong, but I'm not like, like bodybuilder, professional athlete strong. So give it a 16, 15, 15, 16, something like that. Constitution, I don't get sick that often. I've got a pretty good immune system and digestive system, but I don't have really great pain tolerance. My wife makes fun of me about that a fair bit. And so, yeah, con isn't going to be awesome. Give it a like a 12, something like that, maybe. Like a little better than average, maybe. But yeah, not great pain tolerance, so maybe less, maybe 10, right? Dexterity. Dexterity is my dump stat. I wish. This is probably why I like playing like the agile striker so much and I love monks, etc., is because like it's the furthest from where I am. Like I've never been a great like athlete coordination wise, right? I'm not particularly fast or quick, and I wish that I were. So yeah, I'm an 8 dex. Um, let's see. Then you've got intelligence, wisdom. Oh, I guess I'm fairly intelligent. I did a master's degree. Does that count for something? Give me a but again, I'm no genius. Give me a 13 intelligence and maybe same for wisdom. I'd like to think I'd rather be wise than smart, I think, if I had to choose. So maybe this is wishful thinking. I think I've got some experience under my belt and I've learned some things. Give me a 14 wisdom. And then charisma is probably my best stat, I suppose, if I had to pick one. So maybe I'm like a 17 charisma or something like that. So anyways, there's my character sheet. Um, right. Yami Yumi, relatively new here, so sorry if it's been asked. Have you ever tried homebrewing a class or subclass? We kind of talked about this already. I haven't really, and I'm just not super interested in it. Um, yeah, like maybe one day that might change, right? I can see it changing, but right now I just really enjoy what I do, and that I know is super time consuming. Like I talk to Kelly and Monty all the time, and I know that so much of their time is put into like the books that they create for Drakkenheim, right? And the new subclasses and classes and adventures, etc. They love it, and they're very good at it, and they make a lot of money at it, and so there's lots of motivation for them to keep doing that. And but I also see like how much time it takes for them to do, and it's a lot. It's a lot of their time, and I have kids. Like if they had kids, I don't think they'd. I think they'd have to pick YouTube or the third party books, and they don't, and so they just work themselves to the bone sometimes, which is awesome for them, right? And they're great at what they do and successful, but it's just not something that I really want for myself right now. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, Dick Thulu. I'm reading the questions from right here. You just have to scroll up. Okay, we are just about out of time. Let me see if I missed any from the chat over here. Well, I want to see Genie Warlock. Yeah, Genie Warlock, Pally, multi-class. I have that on my to-do list. I think I'll get to it, before too much longer. But I did just do a Genie Pally, and there's a lot of new subclasses that I haven't even touched yet. I should probably do a build with them first. But I'm sure I'll get there. I'm curious, do you have a least favorite build of yours since 5.5's release? Ooh. A least favorite build. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Let me pull up my table of contents. Because that's what it's for. Open recent. Master. Here we go. I mean, this is a lot. This is 70 something, right? You know what? I might not even have to look. It might be the Assassin Rogue, the very first one that I did, because I had to do it. Like Wizards of the Coast, reached out to me via my agent, and they were like, "Hey, if we gave Colby early access to like one thing from the new book, would he want to do a video on it?" And I was like, "Absolutely. Can I have like a subclass? Because that's kind of my thing, right?" And they were like, "Yeah, Assassin Rogue." And I was like, "Okay." And then I looked at it and I was like, "Ooh, I don't love this." But I got to do a build on it. So I did. And it was fine, right? But the Assassin is not amazing. Like the Rogue in general, in my opinion, is not amazing. I think it suffers from a lot of things that you guys have all heard me talk about. And while the guaranteed extra damage on the first round is nice, it like sucks compared to auto crits, right? Even though I know you can't guarantee surprise, but still, yeah, it just feels really meh. And so I would rather with the Assassin multi-class, but I was like, I can't multi-class. Like, this is like an expose on this new subclass that nobody's seen yet, right? So yeah, that would be my pick. I think I could definitely do that one better, I think. Okay. Oh, let's just see. Let me see if I can get through anything here. Oh yeah, Warlock Blitz. You called it. Have you made a multi-class rogue with a sorcerer dip? Chris, were you not listening to my rant about maybe you made that comment before I talked about the table of contents. Have I done what was the question? A multi-class rogue with a sorcerer dip in 2024? I don't think so. I definitely did before and used Quicken Spell. I've used Quicken Spell to get, an attack off, and then you hold your action. I might have done the same thing. What was it? Not the Knight of Whispers, the Holy Blade. Did the Holy Blade have, no, that was a War Cleric, that's right. Yeah, I don't think I've done Sorcerer Rogue for 2024 yet. I don't think. It'll be on my to-do list. Nope, Rogue Bard, Sorcerer Ranger, Rogue Ranger. Rogue Sorcerer, sorry if somebody's already said this. The Arcane Sniper. Yeah, there you go. And I think I was just like, that's right, I got Quicken Spell for True Strike, right? And then you make your ranged attack with Quicken Spell, True Strike, and then you hold your action to make a second one, double up on sneak attack, etc., etc. Let's see. Okay, I probably better go. What do you think about Chris's? Here we go. This will be the last one from Jack Watson. What do you think about Chris's Ultimate Wizard, the Ranger Wizard multiclass with like every ritual? I played it in a 3-shot at level 9, and it was very versatile. I don't know that I've seen that one from Chris. I don't watch a ton of YouTube. It's kind of embarrassing to admit. I do watch what I can, and like if something from one of my friends like really piques my interest, I'll try and make sure I catch it. But it's almost like I'm always on YouTube replying to comments and then writing scripts for YouTube and creating and looking at the analytics and blah, 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 blah. And thinking about like D&D, that like in my spare time, I kind of go, I just want a salad or something. I want to watch a Daniel Green. If I'm going to watch YouTube, it's usually not D&D related. Just to, mix it up. I'll watch a Daniel Green video about, some fantasy novel that I'm interested in, or something like that. Or Hank Green. I guess I like greens. I'm a Hank Green fan. So yeah. So no, I don't think I've seen that one from Chris. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, I'm not surprised that he built a wizard that just can cast like every spell, because that's his thing, and he loves the versatility, and he's good at. Any hope on an updated Starry Night? That was a fun one that didn't actually perform that well. That was near the tail end of the 5e era. Yeah, I'll have to put that on a to-do list. That was fun. I like that for sure. So yeah, thanks for the ask. Okay, we will be done now. You guys are awesome. Love you. Thank you. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the super chats. And just for being here and for your support. I so appreciate it. I know I say this at the end of every single video, so you probably get sick of hearing it or maybe worry that it's disingenuous, but it is not. None of this happens without you guys. I would have quit, or I never would have continued, I guess I'd say. If it weren't for YouTube memberships and now Patreon support, I would have got a year and a half into the channel and been like, okay, like I can't do 60 hours a week anymore between my full-time job and this. Like, something's got to give, and I'm not making enough at YouTube, so I guess my channel is dead, right? But thanks to like member support, it was like, oh, okay, no, I can quit my regular job and just do this full-time, and that's way better. So yeah, I feel like I owe you guys so much, and I'm so grateful for you, so thanks. Have an awesome Happy New Year. We're a little late, but have a great January. I will try to do another one of these before the end of the month this time. So yeah, keep sending questions to the Discord. And if you are a patron and you weren't able to watch this live, I apologize. I am going to try to figure out why it wasn't working on Patreon this time before 30 minutes prior to going live. So anyways, have a great day. Thanks guys. You're awesome.